Alright, we have some changes. I have torn up some of the stuff that didn't do well and planted the start of some fall plants. It might still be a little too early just because it's so hot, even though it's almost mid-September, but we'll see what happens. So the first thing I put in was some broccoli. This is a stir-fry broccoli, so it's not the giant crowns that you would get in the grocery store. They're skinnier, taller crowns. Our jalapeno plant's still doing good. I actually did a absolutely massive harvest on this last week, and I made over a pound of pickled jalapenos. Finally found a good recipe, and we're still producing. I've cut off a couple branches down below that look sick and didn't have any flowers on it, just to try to lengthen how long this guy's going to be around producing for us. This is the Sweet 100 tomato. My first tomato on the bottom is starting to turn red. There's a couple other small tomatoes, and it's still making some good flowers. It's doing okay despite the heat. Down in Houston, it's been 90s to 100s, and then the heat index is just really keeping us to 100, even though it's the beginning of September. My okra is doing great. I can't wait to get some more okra out of the season. I had started with 6 in here, and I just sowed the seeds directly in the ground and thinned them out as they got taller, just because they are going to need some space for the roots to expand. And the roots spread out in like a web across. Other than that, they're not going to be too close because they do grow very tall, and these branches of leaves aren't going to stay super clustered. They are going to fan out pretty thinly, so that should be good. My dill, I just got this today, one of those accidental buys at the garden store. I've wanted some dill, especially of late, because they're a huge food source for caterpillars and butterflies, and I do want to support that population. I just hadn't found it in a plant until recently. I didn't want to start from seed so late in the season. And then I have some Brussels sprouts. This is another fall plant. So we'll see how these do. Again, it's a little early, but Brussels sprouts do take a while to get to maturity. These take, let's see, 85 to 90 days to maturity for these guys. This was a trip to Lowe's that I went to go get soil for a garden project in the front, and ended up buying a bunch of other stuff. I got the dill, I got the Brussels sprouts, I got the broccoli that I already showed you, I got some flowers, and I also got another fall crop that we'll see down below, and I'm still battling these stink bugs. I kind of smack them around, wait till they land on the fence, and try to smash them with something. This is my green bell pepper plant, and I am getting some bell peppers. It has, which you cannot see unless the wind stops. It has been a long wait to get some bell peppers, just because I started late in the season and it's been so hot. My red bell pepper plants there in the back. Lots of flowers, but no big produce yet. I've harvested 2 pimento peppers so far that have turned red. I hear a clicking sound. Maybe a cricket. It's a little early, guy. So those are my other pimento peppers in the back. They're getting pretty big. Like I said, I've harvested 2 of them. I do plan to pickle them if I can get some more. My lemon cucumbers, I called these squash in the last video by mistake because I was rattled by the impromptu stink bug fight. But they're still doing okay despite the heat. I do have some new growth because I did harvest quite a bit. I made 2 pounds of pickles out of these, and then I also made a cucumber salad, which is pretty basic. There's another little guy. I got one over here somewhere. There he is. And I think there's a couple in the back. So I'm still getting some produce off that. But the cucumber salad is pretty much some apple cider vinegar, some mayo. I do local Texas honey, a little bit of sugar, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and throw in some raw onions, toss it around, and it stays great in the fridge for over a week. And it's delicious, very refreshing. It's my jalapeno plant. Lots of new growth on this jalapeno plant. Excited. This is my Husky Cherry Red. That did super well earlier in the season, and I was lucky enough to find another one at Lowe's again. So I'm hoping we can get some more tomatoes out of the season. I have a snacking pepper. I've gotten one orange pepper out of this, but I'm starting to get some flowers again. So I did fertilize these with nitrogen just to help kind of leaf growth. And this is a new exciting bed. So in the back, I know I showed you my cucamelons in the window, and so that's what's here in the back. They look a little bit sad from just the stress of transplantation, and I think I lost the one on the end. But I did do 6 seeds total in the window to start their growth before transplanting in case I lost one or two. If you have not Googled cucamelons, they're adorable and refreshing. They're also called Mexican sour gherkins. And in the front I have some curly kale. This and the broccoli are more like 50 to 60 days to harvest. Houston's pretty lucky that we have such a long harvest and grow season. Ours is something like 270 days long, something like that. Don't quote me on the number. Something around that range. So I did start these early. 2 months I can start picking kale leaves off to saute, to throw in salads, to make greens. And then my marigold. She didn't look so hot earlier, but she's perking up. More cool stuff. My kumquats are looking good. This one's actually looking like it's starting to turn. I've been waiting and waiting, but these do tend to fruit and then ripen in the fall, especially towards November. So I'm just kind of holding out for those. I did dig some holes and put in some citrus fertilizer mix just to give it a little bump of energy to get through this heat. My gladiolus bed, there's one lily in there, and then my zinnias are absolutely popping up. And there's some other wildflowers in here, so I'll be interested to see what comes up. It's a little bit of a mess, and I'll tell you why in a second. There's big chunks of clay dirt from me digging a hole for a new plant that I'll show you. This zinnia is about ready, I think, to bloom. I'm excited. My plan is to just let these bloom and then cut them and take them inside to enjoy them. Another new addition, this, I've wanted a hibiscus plant forever, and on my misadventure at Lowe's, I saw this guy. The flowers only last one day, so it looked prettier when I got it. But there's another bloom here ready to open, so I will show you what that looks like in its peak. But I've wanted a hibiscus plant for quite a long time, and just been a little bit nervous about getting it, about the size and everything. This one, I'll put the type in the information below because I don't have it on hand for me right now, but it is a 3 foot tall hibiscus, and we do have that in the corner because if animals eat it like our dog, it can really make them sick. So that's the flower bed. It's been hot. Today I think the high was 95 and the heat index put it to 100. My mint looks really sad, but mint tends to be kind of like a weed. It probably just needs a bigger pot. That and the heat is, is just drying it out in this separate pot. But we'll see. I'm not worried about it. Mint thrives in all sorts of things. My basil is still a bush. I did water it. It's kind of dry, but the lower leaves are perking up. I am still picking off the flowerings on this and trying to extend my basil life. I just made and sold another batch of pesto last week, and I want to be able to enjoy the basil as long as I can this season. Once it starts to dwindle down, I'll probably just let it go to flower because it's gorgeous and it attracts bees and hummingbirds and butterflies, and they are all welcome into my yard. My lavender's still doing good. Smells good. Thyme's doing great. My chives are getting a little choked out, I think. So what I think I might do is just rip those out and haul it. I really have only used them once or twice in cooking, and it's just kind of taking up space. They have a lot of spindly roots. And then my rosemary is getting quite big, so that'll give her a little bit more room. So yeah, that's where we're at now, and I'll show you what's going on the front flower bed next time. I love my basil. Have a good one.